Hey guys, so welcome to part 2 of the After Mocks video. So this is about how to get the best how to get like the best results after mocks, and like how to learn from them, and also what to do if you've not like done that good. So the first thing I want to say is because I'm going to try and make this quick. If you did not do that good, first of all, you can't do the best that you can. Like, you don't expect to do as good as you would in actual GCSE exams, because this was like your first time, I presume, doing like lots of GCSE style exams in like 2 weeks. So it's your first experience. So like, use this as a learning process. Like, I remember last year for English, like 5 people in our year read the question wrong, and they were all like, they all went to the teacher and they were like, "Oh no, I read the question wrong," and he was like, "Oh, but thank goodness that this was like that. You know that you won't do it again," which is good because, what's it called? All the mistake that you have made now, you can like, you won't do them again, if I'm making sense. Also, you won't do as good as you would in GCSEs anyway. Like, you still don't know that you still don't know all the content for most subjects, and you're still learning like the way how you revise, the way how you cope in exams, the way how you exam techniques. Like, you won't do as good as you will do in GCSE. And here are some tips that I did and that I suggest you do. How I know not everything everyone learns differently, but these are what I suggested, what I did, and I suggested to other people, and they said it was useful, and I did it for myself, and I found it really useful. So the first thing was, so this is mainly for science, but it fits with other subjects too. So for science, when I got my papers back, and when I did more practice papers or tests in class, or practice papers, I would go after I'd done them, and I got in the results or mark scheme. I would go through the whole paper, and any question that I'd gotten wrong, I'd make into a flashcard. Now, you may be thinking, but it's unlikely that the question will come up again. Well, it is, but firstly, it may still come up, like especially if the paper is not like it hasn't been done. Like, if it's a specimen paper, it still may come up. And secondly, even if it doesn't, like, it's still really good to reference. Like, for example, let me find one. For chemistry paper 2, one of the questions I got in was how was crude oil formed, and the answer was on the back. And although I knew that it would be unlikely that it would come up again, I thought that it'd be good that I knew it anyway, because because for example, there could be like a 6 marker saying compare how crude oil is made to something else is made. I haven't done science in 7 months, as you can see, and this does not just apply with geography too. It applies. I mean, science too. It can be with geography, history, like even like the long markers. If you take down some of the points from the mark scheme, like it's like taking the points off a mark of like a textbook, but this time it's even better because it's the actual exam mark scheme. It's from the actual exam. It's the actual exam question, and if you keep revising them, then they get into your brain, and then you're more experienced, and you will know more, if you get me. That did not make sense, but that's what I did. And whenever I learned any like science fact or like geography statistic or mini geography question or like an 8 marker and I needed examples for geography, or 5 marker for classics and I needed examples, I make them all into flashcards, and I think it really, really helped, because yeah, it just really, really helped. Okay, that did not make sense. On to maths. For what I did for maths was I went through the whole paper. This is what the teachers recommended us to do. And I looked at all the topics that either I did not know, I did not get right, or I got like partially right and like didn't do that well. And I wrote them all down on a list. And throughout the next 6 months, every week I would do I would learn, like I would do a task on them, and I just kept not just me, like I didn't do that much, but most people, they just kept doing all the topics that they did not know, and then they just kept learning more in addition to like doing like past papers and revising old stuff. So they just learned more and more, and like because this, and then when it gets into your like GCSE exams, you'll know like most of the topics, or at least more of the topics that you knew like that in your mock exam. So it will be like it's really useful. Um, Languages. So this one's a good tip. Once you get your language papers back, what I did, I went through the whole paper and I highlighted any words I did not know. Like any words I didn't know, I would write them down, or highlight them, write them down, and look them up, and then I'd make them into flashcards. So when it got to GCSE time, well, actually no, before I just keep revising and revising them, and then and not only from like specimen papers, but also from articles we were given, and from the TGP textbook, like I've talked about in previous videos, and I just learned so many words that when I got into the GCSE exam, like there were so many words that I recognized, and not only did it like it paid off, and I just found it like much easier than if I had not known all the words. I would have really struggled. So yeah, that's a good tip for languages like maths. No, not maths. Like Spanish, French, Italian, Portuguese, Mandarin, etc. Then this is the main tip for like mainly English, but also like literature and language, but also, to be honest, any like subject, especially at the essay writing one. So what for English, the best thing I recommend is, so go to your teacher, or go through the mark scheme, or go through but mainly your teacher, and ask them ask them two things. One, what did I put in this essay that made it good and that got marks? And what did I not put in the essay that I could have put in that would help me gain more marks? That's what I did, and that's what the teacher recommended we do, and that really helps. Like, you just ask them what you could have added to get more marks, and what you did add to get marks, and then you could kind of create like a checklist, like either on paper or in your mind, and then when it gets into the actual exam, you can you'll think, okay, I need to put this, and not just for English, like for geography essays, history essays, classics essay, languages writing, languages speaking, like it's just really useful. Like, and anything, like you can note down anything, like whenever the teacher would give us a tip, like you could, like even if he just said, oh, so you could add this into your essay, and that would impress the examiner, and maybe get your mark. I would write it down, and then so by the end, I would have all these points. So when it got into the exam time, I knew, okay, I could put this in to get an extra mark. I could put this in to get an extra mark, and like it all accumulates, and it just helps you get more marks. And another thing that you can do so once you've done that, just try adding all those things that the teacher has suggested or the marks team has suggested you to put in, and then just like redraft it, add those things in, and then go to the teacher and ask them to see it again, and then you just keep improving after time. And I think that is like one of the most like helpful tips, and that's for any subject. Like, just go to your teacher and say, what do you think my biggest strengths and weaknesses are, and then you can note down the strengths, so then you know how to revise, like how to get good, like, you know, get good results, but also your weaknesses, so then you can improve on them and get even better. Like, I think that is the best way, and to be honest, it is the best way. Like, you're not, if you just see your like result and you're just like, whatever, all the mistakes that I've made, I can't be able to learn them, then you won't be able to improve. And like, if you've worked hard, you deserve to improve. Like, yeah. I'm doing the irony. I'm doing like a study video, and I keep saying like and cause, like, what else do I need to say? And also about, just to clear up some confusion about me saying, oh, what you could add in. My teacher always used to say, oh, you can sprinkle this in into your essays to get higher marks, or you could add this in, or you could reference this or something, and it just helps you like get like the highest band, like the highest amount of marks. Like, for example, let's see if I can think of an example. In English literature A level, the teacher said that if you that you have to reference a performance you've seen, but if you compare it to another performance you've seen, you can get even higher. And in GCSE, I remember for English language, our teacher told us that this is just one of many. Like, if in creative writing, if you reference something from the beginning and reference it at the end again, that would impress the examiner for structure, and then you get more marks. Like, little things like that, they just help you improve. They help you get more marks. And I know marks aren't everything, but if you want to improve, then That's how. Um, and those are most of my tips done. Let me just think. Also, mark schemes are like your best friend. Like, I've said this again, but they will help you. Like, especially for English, they'll say, okay, this student did this student did that, and for like maths, they tell you how to do the working. Like, they're the most reliable source, in my opinion. So use them again and again. And also, not for, I was talking about this for maths, but go through like most of your papers, and with your teacher, by yourself, or with the mark scheme. Well, with the mark scheme, like the mark scheme's gonna be there with you, but that's cringy. But you just go like through it, and you realize like everything that you need to learn, and then you just write it down, and then you just learn it. Like, yeah. So I'm really tired, like, I'm not functioning. That seems like a cue to end this video. Just two more things. First of all, if you did not do that well, that's okay, like, this is your first time. Like, I know people that got, like, 2s in their mocks, and then got, like, 8s in their GCSE, like, okay, sometimes that might seem like a stretch, but, like, you still have 6 months, like, or about 6 months. But anyway, you still have a long time, and you're still learning, and, like, these 6 months are the perfect time for you to know, like, to improve. And even if you didn't do that well, like, that's okay. Like, it doesn't define, like, the sort of person you are. Like, it doesn't define if you're hardworking or not. It doesn't define if you are a nice person or not. It doesn't know that you can play a special instrument, or you can speak another language fluently, or that you can or that you, I don't know, like skateboarding. Like, they don't know you at all. They just, it doesn't even reflect how much you know the subject. It just reflects how you did in an exam on that day. Like, so seriously, it's fine. And if you want to improve, like, use these tips. Like, go to your teachers, ask them for help. If your revision didn't work, then start trying out different strategies. Or you still have time, and you still have time to learn. So seriously, don't worry. Like, it's gonna be okay. And last thing, I just want to say well done for, like, going through mocks. Like, I understand how stressful they were. Like, when I did my mocks, at first I found them really stressful, but it got to a point where I was so stressed where I started to, like, seem really relaxed, and in the end it was, like, quite fun, because like, me and my friend, we went to when we were revising for geography, we went to like, Wagamama, and we were just, like, relaxing. We were just like, oh, this is much better than, like, than if we had to stay at school and just, like, be in lessons and then do exams. Like, yeah, but anyway, just well done. I haven't done mocks, but I've had 3 exams this week, and I had an English exam the week before, and I'll have mocks this time next year, and also UCAS exams in the summer. So, hooray! The fun never ends. But keep an eye out for more videos, and seriously, again, if you have not done that well, please don't worry. Remember, your mental health is much, much more important. Like, GCSEs are important, but only into getting onto the next step. If you don't do that well at GCSE, that is okay. Like, there's still lots and lots of other options. I'm just trying to help people, like, achieve what they want to achieve. But seriously, like, that's so cool. Don't worry. Like, you still have time. Keep an eye out for new videos. Lol, just promoting my channel. But yeah, and I'm gonna do how to revise English, how to revise literature, how to revise classics, how to revise geography, how to revise science, and, like, the best revision tips. So yeah, just keep an eye out for that, and yeah, I'll see you later. I really don't know how to end videos. I'm just tired from my Spanish exam.